Gentlemen, what the fuck is up? Saturday morning, John Fitch and I, Corey Capella, come to you live with Red Pill Smash Bros. I believe this is episode number 9. Gentlemen, I want to just give you a quick
almost
little...
double digits.
Yeah, hey, we're almost there. Just a little, not apology, because, whatever. But I was fucking feeling it in the gym today, guys. I was hitting back, buys, and tries, and I just fucking got in the zone. And, John had a nice little date last night. So we're like, let's push it back about 15 minutes. No big deal.
It was a great date. So
no big deal.
I
no
needed
big
an
deal.
extra 15 this morning.
Yeah. No big deal, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be a little bit patient for, this magnificence. Anyway, with that said, John Fitch and I come to you with Red Pill Smash Bros. As a means to bring masculinity back to the West. John, tell us a little bit why you're here today. What's up? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, man. Long-time MMA fighter, long-time man. Been
Since
battling this since birth. Since battling this, battling away at this gynocracy, beating down on men. No, I got sons, and I've just noticed a lot of things over the years. How America's especially has been more feminized. The West has been more feminized. Masculinity has been demonized, and guys who act and think like I do are considered lunkheads, and we're are relics of the past. But I disagree. We don't know what the future is going to look like, but the best way to tell what the future is going to look like is to build it yourself. So that's what we're doing here, trying to make sure that we have a place for masculinity in the future, and keep America strong, keep it a good place for when my kids grow up. They're not completely overtaken by soy.
We must push back against the soy.
Yes, it's the battle against the soy.
Everybody, first and foremost, let's start off with this. I love you guys. John and I come here and we provide free content to you. The best thing that you could do to help us out is simply just click that little button. It's a little, well, not just that. It's a little arrow that's kind of like sideways pointing a certain way. And you could get the link. And then you could take that and you could share it on your social media. It's this crazy new revolution in the world where, like, you can share this type of stuff and information with other people, and hopefully they can come over and all that stuff. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Share. Also hit the like. That's going to help out big time. Anyway, with that said, my name is Corey Capella. I am, I consider myself a Renaissance man now because there's so much shit in my background. I'm like, what do I pitch to people? Am I a fucking crazy shaman who went down to the fucking Amazon and worked with, indigenous tribes and drank ayahuasca? Am I the combat veteran? Am I the guy who overcame PTSD? Am I the guy who fucking crushed it on Bumble and Tinder and now produces a course? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I say to you guys? So I just said it. Fuck it. Yeah, that's me. In a nutshell, it took me a long time to come to the red pill, but the red pill came to me. I didn't come to the red pill. It came crashing into my life. And the cool part is, with that said, I've been able to attain some pretty solid knowledge and become quite masterful in some areas of that. And the areas I'm not masterful in, I go and I look to other people that are masterful in the red pill space. So what we're trying to provide here is an opportunity for people to be able to come in here, learn some of this knowledge that we understand, and open the door for you guys to be able to start like looking into this. The goal, like John and I talked about, is a means, whether or not it's saving America or not, it's at least creating a counterculture that is going to imbibe some of the values or most of the values that initially stood up America while evolving society in the proper direction of how this sexual marketplace is actually fucking taking us. So it's shit you gotta know. With that said, shit, what's on your mind today, buddy?
Nothing, man.
Nothing?
No, I was just to listen to your explanation. Like, there's a lot of options today. People have a lot of options. I think that's a great thing. We're providing an option. We're providing an option, right? I think because of the way things are going, I don't like the other options, which are kind of this soy beta type place. I don't feel like I'm going to step into that place ever. And there's a lot of other guys who have found themselves in that place, or they don't want to step into that place. And I think that's what we're doing, is like we're giving an alternate way of doing things, alternate way of thinking. You don't got to get stuck in that beta type provider position. You can live your life the way you want to. You can be robust about what you want and upfront and direct and get the things you really want. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's mainly the reason why I started this podcast off with, hey guys, share. Because I can even tell you from my perspective, when it came to what masculinity is doing today, is we are hedging our bets, right? And this is what a lot of these soy boys are doing. Is what they're doing is they are not a masculine man plants his flag and he says, this is who I am. These are my boundaries, right? These are my boundaries. This is what kind of identifies my frame. That's what a frame is. It's boundaries, right? But a lot of people are scared to actually go out into the world on social media and share it with people and say, this is what I believe, or at least this is what I'm playing with. These are ideas that I'm playing with and working with. So when it comes to like red pill content, when it comes to these ideas of discussing hypergamy and dismissing feminism and all this other stuff, people aren't willing to actually like plant their flag, especially on social media, and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm playing with. And that's why like I had a call to action right first thing, like fucking share this. Share this with people, because you never know who you're going to affect. I had this happen when I started doing this about a year and a half ago, when I started like sharing like red pill stuff. And the thing is, you got to take into consideration, you are not going to win them all, and you are going to get backlash. But
fight. Some people will fight you. People want to fight you.
It's
over
fucking
things that you say.
It's awesome though. Like I can tell you, I had this one post that I posted up about a year and a half ago. It was this fucking epic meme going pretty much attacking single moms. One of my favorite memes to this day. It's this cute looking woman. I believe she's like South American. She's definitely Latina. And she's got her arm out and she's in this water and it's surrounded by trash. And the guy's got the photo with his hand reaching in, right, to grab her and like follow her into this like trash sea. It's fucking insane. And it says, this is what dating a single mom is like. Dude, I fucking posted that thing up on my Facebook, right? And I have like 5,000 people on my Facebook maxed out. You know, most of them are spam or whatever the fuck. But I'm telling you, within 2 hours, I had like 423 fucking comments. I had fucking single moms out the wazoo coming and attacking.
Somebody posted the other day on the twist on Twitter. You posted something about single moms or modern life. John did. I can't remember. And then some girl got on there. I was like, well, men change. And it's talking about how men can turn into pieces of shit.
Right.
It's like, men change. My whatever, I was molested for like 8 years, whatever. And I was just like, she's like, that was not my mom's fault. And I was like, well, how did this
said something about that? Yeah.
How did this person get access to you
in
the first place? Like, that's not your mom. That's not your mom keeping him away from you or checking on you. And it's like just the overall denial, like putting absolutely zero blame on the person who's supposed to be watching over you and protecting you. It's wild.
Yeah. So I think Matic Elephant said, yeah, go ahead. You
asked also what's been on my mind lately. And I have not been able to get this off of my mind, but these guys dropped a bomb on me the other day in one of my shake breaks. And they're telling me that in the movie Fight Club, that not only, you know, Tyler Durden is imaginary, right? But so is Marla, the chick.
Yeah.
And then they sent me to this website, jackdurden.com.
Uh-huh.
And it's a whole website dedicated to like all the underlying stuff about how, like, there's a scene where like Brad Pitt character goes and gets Marla, right? Well, Ed Norton's not really there. He's imagining this scenario happen. They're not even there. Like there's no reflection of them. Like the EMT guys rush by and you see their reflection in the mirror in the hallway, but you don't see Brad Pitt's and hers. It's because they're not real. There's all this evidence that he stacks up. I've only read the first part. And then Bob, Big Titch Bob, is imaginary too. And like each character is supposed to be a representation of his emotions. They break down to this whole rabbit hole. And I've only read about one character so far, and I'm already blowing my mind. It's already blowing my mind. And like the movie is actually like subtly about the West losing its masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
right? Tyler Durden plays the character of the masculinity,
Yeah.
and Marla is femininity,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like when Marla goes into the uh, laundromat, takes the pants out of the two dryers. Like, how'd she know that they're men's pants in those dryers? Like, that's all she got was men's pants. And then she went to sell them. And that was literally Ed Norton handing his pants over to somebody. He's selling his manhood. And he's
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely a lot of subtext to it. I don't know if you've ever. I
blowing my
don't.
mind.
Joe Rogan had did a podcast with Palahniuk,
Mm-hmm.
and I was blown away by how fucking epic Palahniuk is. Like, Palahniuk is red pill, but he doesn't know he's red pill. And he's in the abyss with all the fucking people in LA. And that's where he's like getting this kind of like red pill stuff from. I mean, there are layers. I try to avoid now a lot of those things where people throw too much into it. It's almost like people talk about how Harry Potter, like they have a theory about how Harry Potter is really just trapped in the cupboard and he's just imagining the whole thing. Like, that shit ruins it for me. Like, I don't know. I for sure apply a lot of this stuff. I take a red pill.
The directors and the people filming the stuff, like they put all this stuff in intentionally. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the Easter egg stuff.
So I was just talking about this, and then a friend of mine, actually the girl I went on a date last night with, she had a class in high school where they talked about this. I was like, what the hell? Like, this is like a known thing that people have been studying for years.
Well, this is almost like for me too. If we were to actually like talk about spirituality and God and all this stuff, you can peel back the layers, even to the point where like flat earthers, you can literally say at some level, because it's energy, that this doesn't really exist. So therefore on one plane, just because it's straight energy and there's no material there, we are technically in a fucking hologram, and therefore the earth is flat. Right? So you can, I know, it sounds crazy. You can go down these rabbit holes and play. I love playing with consciousness with it, but for sure, I mean, that shit's wild. I do want to go back to how you were talking about that Twitter post, though, of that single mom and talking about being molested and all this shit. First and foremost, one thing we have to understand is this. I posted this on Twitter. And if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, like a lot of these conversations, you notice that John and I will talk about Twitter a lot. If you're not following John and I on Twitter, you're missing
the most crazies.
Dude, Twitter's awesome. I was so anti-Twitter for such a long time. But Twitter is where you get the ideas, man. Twitter is where you get the free, like, that is where there's a lot of stream of consciousness going on. I definitely enjoy it. And you don't get the ranty fucking Facebook type shit. But anyway, I posted this on Twitter. What I talk about is how women will always put the blame outside of themselves. There's only one place women will ever put blame, and it's never on themselves, right? That's the only place they will not apply blame. And the same goes with women won't do it to the sisterhood. Right. Yep. So in that girl's perspective, there is no way, shape, or form that she was ever going to even consciously apply any guilt to her mother for the situation that she found herself in.
It's a part of survival.
You think so?
Yes, because if you are in a group, like think about 1 million years ago, you're in a group of 100 to 250 people. If you go against if the woman goes against the rest of the women, like, then she's outcasts. She can't go against the group because she relies on the group to survive. So she has to defend the other females as a part of defending herself. It's a part of her survival.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because for a woman, they have to have, for millions of years, they had to have support from other people to survive. So the sisterhood is dependent on survival.
Right.
Am I I don't know, I'm theorizing.
No, you're right. I mean, the sisterhood is like the nucleus.
Where men
and men are like
have to go out on our own and do things by ourselves more often. So we're more likely to go against the group.
Yeah, the sisterhood's like the nucleus, where they're kind of wound and packed tight in the center, and they kind of stay together, and they have to stay together in order for all the electrons to kind of flow all the way around and do all this other stuff. It's completely necessary. But that's why, men being individualistic, that's how we kind of float around and we protect the boundaries and we're able to kind of go on our own and do certain things. So I get it from like a polarity dynamic and all that other stuff. The thing though is that men need to learn that this is female behavior. And when it comes to building a society and it comes to your behavior, you have to realize that women are always going to do this. I feel like my audio. Hey, how's the audio right now? Because I feel like
you're good
actually,
on
no,
my
you're
end.
fine. No, I was looking at the output.
But you know, and this was something that was a tell for me towards the end of my relationship, my marriage, was that anytime any of my friends or anybody else had issues with a female, the ex was jumping on that female side, no matter how crazy, whatever. My good friend Mo was kind of dating a BPD girl, right? And he didn't know it. Like I told him about BPD, like last time he came out and visited a few weeks ago, and he's like, mouth dropped open, his eyes got real big. He's, oh my God, that's what she was. But like, my ex was defending this girl, and she was clearly doing, psychotic behavior.
Yeah.
But it was just the sisterhood, and like when they're ready to leapfrog or they're ready to monkey branch, like they're going to get more into the sisterhood.
Yeah, and the worst part today though is this. Now we got to understand it from a perspective of women's sexual strategy is at its all-time high. Literally, women right now in society are sitting on fucking 4 aces, right? If we're playing Texas Hold'em. The thing that we got to do is we got to fucking reshuffle the deck, right? We lost this hand. We got to reshuffle the deck and play another round. You know what I'm saying? And
how we have to remember too, though, that the situation here in the West or in U.S. is different than anywhere else in the world.
Meaning
if you're especially if you're a white American male, and you go to another country, you're a fucking god.
I'd still say it's the same thing here. It's just that over the last 40 years, we've made it super popular to hate on white guys. It's almost like, the media has manipulated people like, hey, we got to give other people a turn. You know what I'm saying? And that's very feminine too.
I feel like a lot of the criticisms are really against beta males.
Yeah, but we baited man, I'm writing my second book right now and I'm fucking just hammering it. And I just deduce how the biggest threat to any type of structure that's looking to be tyrannical and have complete control is a white man. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's because white men are usually the ones that think the most rational and are the ones that are willing to push back against authority. I mean, this is just understanding fucking civilization, right? This is how civilization has been founded. And we got to understand that, IQ is 80% heritable. Personality is also somewhat heritable as well. So we got to tie all those things in consideration too. So what's the goal? Like when you conglomerate corporation, government, and women together, and they all create I don't want to use the term conspiracy, but I'm going to use the term conspiracy because that's what a conspiracy is. It's when you concoct a plan behind the back of someone else. That's what a conspiracy is, right? It's when you conspire against someone. So what was the goal? It was to get all these people into these schools, right, that were controlled by the state. You had to go and do this and make it as feminine as possible and condition these people to literally give over their power, because that's the only way that men can give up power is if they willingly give it up and say, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take some time off the throne and I'm just gonna let everybody else kind of do business. That's what's gone on, is that this has been conditioned into the school system to literally fucking cuck people, like turn them into literal cucks.
Yeah, man, it is. It's powerful. Like you have to give up your power to be powerless.
But the thing is, when you're 5 years old, you don't have much power, so you can't. Yeah. You literally can't fight back. And then parents are like, I mean, especially now, because, I mean, if you really look at the painting of how this all happened, of like literally inflating the dollar to make it so that women had to go to work, and then influencing women to believe that they should go to work and they should give their best years over to their employer in order to be fucking like, this has been literally the greatest play ever as far as like mass socializing and propagandizing.
I think
people
one of
into
the
it's
craziest
fucking
things
epic. It's
too
epic.
is the idea of traveling in your 20s.
Oh yeah, you love this one.
What the fuck are you doing? What money do you have to enjoy traveling in your 20s?
Not just
Seriously,
that.
like unless you have
You're
a
big on
company
traveling. Keep going. Keep going. I'll
unless
interject
you
here in
have
a minute.
a company who's paying you to do the traveling, like you're not doing it the best way. You're not doing it the best way.
You want to know
You're,
how I
you're
traveled in
doing
my
it with all the
20s?
other schlubs.
I
It's
joined the military, bro. That's how I
you join
traveled.
the- I wrestled in college, and then
That's how I got
went
to see
fight.
the world.
That's how I traveled. I traveled to far and distance, exotic places, met the locals, and then fought them.
Yeah, it's fucking epic.
Yeah.
But if you're just some goob who fucking goes to school, is already completely in debt.
These girls. We had a really nice Uber driver last night, and
Should I drink my peach?
he's traveled like 8 places in the last 2 years or something crazy like that. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun, but I'm like I've been to traveling to places, and like I had fun because it was a paid for trip, right? Somebody else paid for the $2,000 ticket.
Right.
And then when I got there, I got $50 a day plus whatever money I wanted to spend. So
plus hotel was paid for and all that shit too.
Plus hotel is paid for, and we're like in good locations. So I'm like upper class when I'm doing these trips. It's not 5-star whatever type stuff, but it's nicer probably than if I would have had to pay for it myself.
Grant Cardone talks about it. He had an awakening when he was like 25 years old, and he's like, I need to fucking get my money right. Like that's first and foremost.
Yeah.
And he said, and he even says this to people online too.
When you're older and enjoy
he says
it
this,
more.
yeah. He says this to people online. He's like, I didn't go to Europe until I was 35, and I was a fucking multimillionaire by that point in time. He's like, that's nice that you're going to Europe right now. That's nice. Those are cute photos.
And
What's your money like?
Arguing with me like, oh yeah, and then you don't want to have children until later because you can't travel with children. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, just make if you're in your 30s and you've done things right and you got your money in order.
Yeah.
You fly, you take your children with you, and you have a nanny that watches your children.
Yeah, women, go at an early age, find a man that's fucking all about that stuff, who has the money, and fucking marry him and have his kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going with your 3 kids to Paris with your au pair
on a
and
fucking
your
yacht.
Watching, and then your kids are being watched. They get to go and visit Paris as children.
But instead, they're sold, and this is where I'm going to go with it.
Sold with the we go to college, rack up a huge amount of
debt.
So
this is the thing. The mindset is, hey, come to this institution that's going to kind of coddle you away from like the harshness of society, where you can come and find yourself. Meanwhile, we're going to give you this social credibility and this professional credibility where all you really got to do is you just got to show up a couple hours a day, and then you got to do some homework. But on the weekends and stuff, you can party and you could fucking do ecstasy and you could drink. Oh, and guess what? You're going to have tons of sex. You're going to have sex with super hot Chads, or you're going to have fucking sex with the super hot Stacys and all this other stuff. And it's going to be great, guys. Like, buy into my fucking scam now. Oh yeah, by the way, go $120,000 in debt. Don't worry about it, because guess what? You're going to get a job afterwards that's going to pay you $86,000 a year, and then you get to climb this ladder, and then maybe one day you can get $250K a year salary. And for women, don't worry about it though, because when you come here, you're going to get your MRS degree. You're going to get your MRS degree because you're going to meet somebody else who's going to fucking meet you, and you're going to be able to fucking condition him to your little blue pill beta, and he's going to pay your debt. Just get married to him, and he's going to pay your debt. Don't worry about it.
Now they're pissed because there's no more dudes to marry, though.
Yeah.
Because they're not making enough.
You know that fucking 63% of the $1.5 trillion of student loan debt is owned by women? 6%, dude.
When you find out 2/3 of the debt is controlled by or held by women, you understand why they're talking about canceling student loan debt.
Yeah, exactly. Which is ridiculous. Because guess what?
God forbid they're accountable.
Well, it's a scam. Like I said, this is a conspiracy between corporations, governments, and women. They've created these systems where it's like, hey, guess what, women? We are going to pitch all this stuff for you to consume and go and spend a boatload of money. And then guess what? Don't worry about it, because daddy government's got your back. What we're going to do is we're going to just guilt and shame men into being fucking doormats for you and going and earning a fucking just an average salary where we steal 33% or more of their fucking money. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to fucking hammer them with things like the patriarchy and make them feel bad. And we're going to fucking throw out this wage gap bullshit, this myth. And we're going to make them feel even worse. And then guess what? We're going to make them feel really bad for you making poor decisions, and that the government is going to be defaulting on these loans, or whatever is going to be defaulting on this loan. So now people are going to feel really bad, and they're going to want to say, hey, why don't we just take our taxpayer dollars and why don't we just throw that towards the 1.5 trillion and just forgive these women, because, you know, they don't know any better, right? Women don't know any better. But the reality is, like, this is fucking peak ultimate open hypergamy sexual strategy.
At $100,000 degree in humanities,
in Chicano studies or Afrikaan studies or gender studies or interpretive fucking dance, or I don't know, fucking, God, it drives me fucking insane. The worst is
a lot of them are going into like psychology, and then they're pushing like bullshit psychology. They're pushing blank slates type stuff, and it's insanity. Like, to be, and to experience it, because I went to the whatever counseling thing, the couples counseling shit, and like all it was the guy trying to gaslight me and tell me that men and women are not biologically different, and then they're trying to gaslight me with like, oh yeah, divorce is okay, all these things are okay. I'm just like, you people are sick.
Just because you have a degree does not make you smart. And as a matter of fact, if you have a degree today, I would even say that you are fucking lower IQ than most people. Now, all right, I shouldn't use the term IQ. All right, because
IQ is touchy. A lot of people get really touchy on the IQ.
I love it. Let's fucking get into it. Let's get touchy. I'm going to touch you in your no-nos right now. IQ does not necessarily determine you actually being fucking smart, though. You can be super intelligent.
A good life. Yeah, you can be super intelligent. You can be clever. You could be a multimillionaire, run businesses, but you could not have that high of IQ. Yeah.
Right. Or you could not be smart. There's a difference between being smart and there's a difference between being intelligent. I would even say intelligence is the ability to retain and regurgitate information. And people even say recognizing patterns, right? But I'm going to argue that, because I know a ton of people that are high IQ, but then the second you start sitting there talking about these patterns of female behavior and how it all ties in, they're like, nope. Where's the science behind all that? Where's the research? Where's all this other stuff? And it's like,
because they'll give you one example that is contrary to what you're saying, that because that one instant happened, they'll tell you about their one girlfriend who has the job, makes all the money, and she's got a boyfriend or a husband who takes care of the kids, and they're so happy and so amazing. And because that one instance happens, nothing else is true that you said.
Right. Well, again, IQ doesn't correlate over to indoctrination either. Mm-hmm. You know, you can justify your indoctrination through your IQ, through your intelligence. Mm-hmm. But smarts, for me personally, smarts is having the ability to take your past experiences, remove yourself from it, right? And say, okay, cool, now I recognize the trend. And then apply it to what you've also learned, right? I would even go so far as this and say this. I've learned a few things. And I'd say they're high in IQ, low in emotional intelligence. Sure. Now, a lot of people keep talking about EQ and talking about emotional intelligence and stuff. I think it all wraps into the same thing, though, because what you're trying to do, and ultimately what we're trying to do, is create an evolved human being who is able to think rationally, plain and simple. Like, okay, let's take the information I learned from me actually practically applying things in life and tying in some of the knowledge and the data, and then literally just saying, is this right? What is the real outcome, and what's the most likely outcome? And that's what we're missing from the society today. I call it practical sense rather than common sense.
Let's say that we go back to our number one rule, which is survive. Right. So I think some of this could be an explainer for some of this could be that they're adopting a survival strategy. Maybe they are smart, but they've learned or been conditioned that if they support this type of thinking or these type of actions, they're going to be rewarded.
It's a survival strategy in the interim. It's a survival strategy in the short term. If you ever look at evolution, what you'll see is you'll see long branches and then you'll see short branches, right? These people are taking the short branch route. They're like, oh, we're evolving. We're doing different stuff. We're trying different things, and we're kind of dealing.
They're not reproducing. They're not, yeah.
Well, I mean, these are the type of people that are legitimate cocks, too. These are the types of people that, you know, they think that they have high EQ and they think that they have high IQ, but they have such high empathy that they are literally cucking out their genetics. They are literally short-sighting themselves and launching themselves down the path of demise, right? It is actually the antithesis of survival, right? Because evolution and survival is tried and true for billions of years, right? Trying something new, I get it. Hey, I enjoyed the experiment, but guess what? There's a sect of us men right now that are realizing, like, you guys are going off the motherfucking cliff. I can hear the fucking waterfall coming. I'm gonna swim this way. All right.
Are you gonna shoot the double leg, or are you gonna pull guard?
Yeah, right.
I think that's part of it. You gotta
shoot the double leg, baby.
You're gonna shoot the double leg, or you gonna pull guard. Like
yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
They're pulling guard. They're eating their soy. They're fucking. Yeah. Man, I watched this one guy recently.
Hit that double, guys.
I need to look at my fucking YouTube right now. But I just watched this video, this new guy. Oh my God. I should pull it up and play it. So this guy, he's a MGTOW dude. His name is Party of One on YouTube. He just shot this video. So now that I've thoroughly roasted the future of there's his voice. I don't know if you guys know who Jenna Marbles is. I guess she's a pretty big YouTuber. I wouldn't fucking touch her with a 10-foot pole. She's not attractive. I fucking can't stand her East Coast accent. She's not that good looking. But she lives in LA, and she has her boyfriend, Julian. And it's cool because he just he posted up a video of Julian, like, right when he first started dating Jenna. And Julian used to be, like, he just got his purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He was fucking jacking steel all the time. And then the next thing you know, Jenna's putting fucking makeup on him on her channel. And then you can literally watch the demise of this kid over fucking 6 years. It's called MGTOW, Jenna Marbles' bitch boyfriend, Julian's Decline. And it's literally one of the most impressive studies. I'll call it a study. It's one of the most impressive studies I've seen of monitoring soy and watching what this new age sexual strategy is. I'm going to give away some of the things that happens in this video. Of course, Jenna Marbles, I believe, is like 33 years old. They live in LA. She's a famous YouTuber, so she's making a ton. He got a good following of YouTubers as well, like a part of his building of content afterwards. But he got his what's it called, by like pretty much acquiescing to her, right? The whole Marla giving his pants over to her. And now he espouses the doctrine of like SJW. Like 2 years ago, because these are people that live in LA and they've never really dealt with like reality. They ended up going to a fucking farm. It was called the Gentle Farm. It's where these city folk could go out to this farm and be able to pet chickens and pigs and cows and see what it's like. But it's a fucking means to promote veganism, right? Like, love animals. Like, this isn't food. These are animals with feelings, right? So you can already see the soy already starting to develop in this kid. He's not
they're
fucking...
my external stomachs.
Yeah, exactly.
They eat other things, break it down for me, absorb it, and then I eat their flesh to absorb those things.
Yeah. Cows have 8 stomachs. Did you know that? I learned that when I was 5. Crazy.
Well, we have external stomachs. We have external stomachs. So that chicken, that cow, that's really just a stomach breaking down food nutrients for us, putting it in meat form, and then we eat them.
It's a pyramid. That's the pyramid. Yeah, it's a beauty.
Saving us a step. Now we don't have to eat the grass.
This dude goes to the farm, and like I said, you can already see the soy starting to develop. He's getting weak. He's starting to get that kind of like, hey, I gotta. When you start to hear fucking men talk like this, guys, I can't fucking stand it.
Non-threatening,
yeah,
like
hey guys, like, and you can see it in their eyes too. I see this in a lot of Christians, like, because they're just kind of like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm being super nice in order to like make you understand that I'm very altruistic and giving. You know, like, you can see this, and it's literally the antithesis of testosterone, where you're just like, yeah, what's up? What do you want? You know what I mean? So he goes to this farm and she's video recording him and he's putting on his performance, right? Like, I'm dancing for my only pussy out there and I'm showing the world, like, hey, this is how you get steady pussy. So he goes and he meets this cow and the cow has like little blinders on and the cow just starts like licking him. And he's like, oh my God, this is so sweet. Like, why would anyone ever eat something like this? Like, look at this.
Delicious.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is fucking absolutely delicious. I'm fucking craving.
Have you had a taco with cow tongue?
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
Lengua.
Lengua.
Lengua. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. It's
fucking
so
epic.
Good.
Yeah, when it's done right,
go
cow
get some
tongue
right
is
now.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable. Go get
I got
some
a cheat meal tonight, dude. I'm going ham on some Korean barbecue. If anyone's in the SD location and wants to go get some Korean barbecue
I'm gonna get
tonight,
some Korean barbecue on Tuesday night.
oh, I'm gonna fucking
good.
like be careful, Korean barbecue. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna rape your menu. Anyway, this motherfucker ends up leaving the farm, adopting the cow, right? Like, they send him a link or a letter or whatever, like, hey, for this much money you can like adopt this cow.
Oh my goodness. So
right?
you can,
Gets
like,
a
for the price of
certificate,
a cup of
names
coffee a day, you can feed the cow.
Names it fucking Buttercup, or I believe its name was Buttercup. Like 3 months later, gets a fucking message in the mail that says, Buttercup died of a heart attack. This fucking cow dies of a fucking heart attack. And then this fucking soy ass bitch, dude, what's he do? He goes and he fucking gets a tattoo on the arm that it was licking of this cow. A fucking tattoo of the cow. It is by far the fucking gayest, most soy mangina shit I've ever fucking seen. Oh my God. And he does a fucking full video on talking about this. And of course he's sitting there talking about it in his lispy queer voice. Thank you, Steven Crowder, for that fucking, that nomenclature now. And then literally the rest of what ends up happening is he and Jenna end up adopting fucking 4 dogs. It's crazy, right? She is literally fucking going through her I'm supposed to be having fucking kids right now kind of thing. Like, she's hitting post wall, but she's so indoctrinated in the feminism that she can't. And she's so woke, she has to show the woke agenda. And she's dating this fucking soy faggot boy that she can't stand and doesn't want to procreate with. So she starts bringing these fucking dogs in the house and they start having, like, she puts them in fucking like baby, like onesies and feeds them bottles and shit.
She's nurturing. She wants children so bad. Like
biologically driven to want this. Keep going.
I follow, it's called like the Dodo or something on Instagram, right? And they always have these rescue stories. And I started to notice a pattern. If you guys follow this, I started to notice a pattern. It's almost always a chick, her soyed out boyfriend, right? And they're childless and they're in that area where they're like that age range where they should be having kids.
Right.
But they're so, oh my God, they're so cute. And then it's all about these animals. I'm like, take your energy and put it where it's supposed to be. Like, you'll be much happier. Your life will mean more to you.
But these people,
they're dogs and these ducklings and get a kid.
It's so funny because you can look at these lefties and this huge rise in what the fuck is it called now? It's like extinction. What are these people?
Rebellion.
The Extinction Rebellion and all these other people.
Have you seen people have enough? Like, they got on the trains in England and people jumped on the trains
down,
and
throwing
like,
shit at them.
Their ass.
Yeah, it's fucking epic.
They're like, hey, chill out, and they're like kicking them. And
I don't know if you saw the video of the guy tearing the sign out of these
college kids. These are like rich college kids with no jobs, and they don't understand why these working class people are trying to get on the train to go and do their job to make money to feed their kids.
Right, exactly.
They don't understand.
They have no idea.
The world's gonna die. Like, my kids are gonna die tomorrow if I don't get to this job.
Because they don't understand base level survival. They don't understand what it is. They don't understand the genetic fucking drive to protect your fucking genes. Right, exactly. It's crazy too because these people are these extinction people, and even just lefties in general. They're so obsessed with death. This is like Jordan Peterson talks about their nihilism.
It's a death cult.
Yeah, absolutely. They're legitimately like doing what they can in order to kill off the species, for sure. Like, plain and simple, that's what they're doing. They don't realize what they're doing, but that's actually their prime motivation right now is. And who knows, maybe this is, like I talked about behavioral sync last week. Maybe this is part of like their genetic expression saying like, there's too many fucking people on this planet. We're competing too much for resources. We're competing too much for attention and affection. Some of us have got to go. And they're taking the They're taking the cyanide and the Nike shoes and fucking trying to hop on the spaceship behind Haley Bob Comet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that shit, by the way?
Yeah, dude. That guy's my favorite.
Oh, man. Which guy was that one?
He's like the...
Oh, God.
iPhone guys. And,
like, what the fuck was his name, dude?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, he's so good.
I just saw somebody just posted him on their thing the other day.
Was that the Haley Bob guy? Or was that
they all had the white sneakers and the outfit. And
black sneakers. The black Nikes with the white
sneakers?
stripe, I think. Or with the white...
But yeah.
Good shoes.
I remember those guys.
Very stylish.
I can't remember. They were like in LA or whatever. Yeah, they're going to get on the Haley's Comet tail or whatever.
Yeah, behind the Haley Bob.
Some comet, but
Comet.
Yeah. But no, I follow some girl on Twitter, that Cassandra Fairbanks. She's like into like weird stuff and cults like that, and she always posts
Heaven's
up
Gate.
strange stuff. Heaven's Gate, that's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Says that she's got a print or a picture of that guy like up in her bedroom or something. So she sees that guy's like face every morning before she gets up and goes out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He looks like a motherfucking alien, bro. It's pretty awesome.
He's wild.
Marshall Applewhite?
Yeah.
Damn. Heaven's Gate, dude.
Heaven's Gate.
Go. They were in Jesus and his Father.
There's your utopia.
Yeah, beautiful. I like it. I enjoy living a little bit too much. I don't think you can really have sex wherever we go after this, and I like sex that much.
See, I think a lot of those people who fall into those cult things are trying to gain access. I think it's all part of a sexual dynamic also. Like
100%. Yeah, there's another
niche market. Like that's what it is. Like people create niche markets to try to become the top of that market. It's like you see this whole big market out there, this whole big sexual market out there, and you're like, fuck, man, I can't get on the board. Look at the size of these guys. I can't get on the board, so I'll create a sub market, and then I'll be at the top of this sub market over here.
Yeah,
and I think that's where some of this the trans stuff has come from too.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but like the other cult that was out there just recently, Nexium.
Nexium, yep.
Yeah, NXIVM is kind of how it's spelled.
I do a thing with Jason Burmis. We do an MMA show on Mondays, and he's got a channel, and he's covered the Nexium stuff quite a bit. And
really,
he's covered that, and he's covered the Epstein stuff quite a bit.
What do you guys talk about with the Nexium stuff? Just give us a little.
Just that he's got a bunch of videos up on it. We haven't spent much time talking about it, but I know he's done a lot of research on it and recorded a lot of the stuff that's in the news on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from a perspective of sexual dynamics. This dude, what was his name? So it was self-described American multi-level marketing company. Keith Rainier, I believe was his name. And he used Allison Mack to start recruiting all these people into this kind of thing.
Brand these girls.
I mean,
brand them. And...
That's peak alpha, though, to be honest with you. If you really are to look at it, like, hey, I'm not casting shade whatsoever, and also I'm not supporting. So, hey, just hear me out on like a fresh perspective and dynamic. John and I, what we're always talking about is we're talking about survival and we're talking about behavior. When you can remove yourself from the emotional, guttural, like, oh my God, that was a fucking cult and he was branding people and all this other shit. And you start to sit here and look at it as far as like sexual dynamics, sexual market, survival, and biology. Like, I can understand why there's a guy out there.
Disagree with the methods, but understand like what he was doing. Like
it's why I have Che Guevara tattooed on my arm. It's a reminder to me constantly, like, hey, you can still fucking sit here and think clearly about someone. You don't have to, like, I am completely anti-socialist Marxism, right? But I fucking get it. You know what I mean? Like, I can remove myself. I got this after leaving Afghanistan and fighting the Taliban, right? And I was like, I need a reminder to remind myself, like, because I left Afghanistan with a completely different perspective of the Taliban. I went in there like, these fucking people are not even going to be able to fight us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the fucking United States military. We're fucking badass. We got all this technology and all this other shit.
Fucking Afghanistan.
And those motherfuckers.
Beat Afghanistan in Afghanistan.
Right. Those motherfuckers they're genius. They are fucking literal mystic fucking geniuses with their guerrilla warfare. And I was like, bro. Like, you underestimated the shit out of your enemy. Like, never again. Like, always, always, always try to put your foot in the shoes of your enemy and understand them from this level and this dynamic. So yeah, getting into
Art
the
of war.
Nexium thing. Yeah, getting into the Nexium thing. Like, I understand this guy's biological drive to create a system where he was just gaining fucking all these resources. Like, he was a fucking king. Like, if you like think about like a pyramid, right? Like, what's your goal? Like, you're sitting on the fucking top as the king, and you're having your fucking society pretty much create and cultivate the lifestyle that you see fit.
Yep.
Like, I get it. I fucking get it. Now, some people go off the deep end. Like, we're talking about this fucking Applegate character who's like, yeah, all right, I kind of had enough of banging all these fucking virgins and stuff. Let's go and fucking meet Jesus in the spaceship behind the Halley-Bob comet. That's a little, I mean, that's a little too far. You know, and then some other people go a little bit too far too. But you're never really going to hear many people sit there and fucking bitch about Genghis Khan.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Genghis
conquerors
Khan.
are conquerors, bro.
They are. Yeah. Genghis Khan.
Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can see exactly what the guy's doing. He's trying to build his harem and build his army, build his civilization,
his little nest.
right?
Yeah, no big deal.
But the methods, yeah.
Well, the thing is,
gaslighting, manipulation, those things are not good.
yeah, it's kind of one of those things that you have to do it in an ethical manner, I guess. But the problem is, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentary on Netflix. It's called Wild Wild Country. Anytime you start to set up your own kind of slice, a little like your own little piece of heaven in your own kingdom, you're gonna have to go up against the fucking biggest, baddest alpha in the world right now, and that's the United States government. And they have a lot more weapons, and they have a lot.
That was just, he got big pushback just from the local government too. You know, so like it wasn't even like Big Uncle Sam had to get all that crazy. Like the local governments are having a problem with it too. So I mean, but that's a perfect example of how these utopias are bullshit. Communism and socialism are bullshit. Even on that small scale, they can't make it work. Somebody's always going to rise up.
Right.
There's always going to be a power structure that's defined one way or another. Somebody's going to have a stronger personality, and somebody's going to end up ruling over somebody else.
It's the Pareto principle, man. This has been proven. I mean, any single time, there's going to be the top 20% that are going to hold the majority of power in any sector, because they just are either biologically more inclined, genetically more inclined, or they have the adaptive skills such as the IQ and the smarts, or even just the brute force to be able to make it happen. That's just, I mean, that's how nature works, and that's how nature evolves. That's going to be how it is, right? I had another point there, and I lost it. Poopy pants. What I was going to say, I believe. Oh, yeah, I was going to say this. You know, the only time that socialism or communism really truly works out is when you have like what I consider, and I call it tribal communism. It's when you're living in a tribe like we used to have back in the day of like 150 people, Dunbar's number.
In your household.
That's true too.
In your household.
But even then, there's still a power structure. I would still consider, right? But I guess that's considered in a way. It's still hierarchical, but it is a form of communism where people, like I said, I used to tell this to people in the military, know your role and do your job. When people know their role in the hierarchy and they do their job, that's when things are able to flow, right? Yep. Plain and simple. But it's when you get people that want to step outside of their fucking role and they don't want to do their job that, you know, that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. There's too many people. And when that happens, there's like people that are sitting there. We got a whole bunch of micromanagers in the managerial level. We have people that are incompetent in the managerial level. We have people that are incompetent in the leadership roles and all this other stuff. And then we have other people that are actually in the low level that could be doing way better jobs, but they have no ability to rise to the top because they're being fucking thwarted by these other people who are using like unethical practices to keep people down, right? We don't have the free-flowing feedback. You know, this is what survival of the fittest used to be. It used to be a competition of a means to get people into the right positions using fucking the environment and using their skills as well. But now we've kind of bubble wrapped society to the point where it's like, okay, the weakest people are able to now use these systems in order to like stay in the higher roles of society. Meanwhile, the people that really truly deserve it are like locked down. And that's why you see so many people that like they have this energy inside them that surges out, and they have to either use it in a good way or a bad way. Like I remember, I'll tell that story on my war stories thing. So just stay tuned for that. I got to pimp my war stories. War stories Sunday, guys. Just to let you know, I'm gonna try to be out there around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I go live on my channel, this channel, God Amongst Men, and I tell the war stories from the military that I had. Pretty good stuff. If you're just tuning in right now, please do slap that like button. Slap it like a little hoe. Slap it like your bottom, all right? And if you don't mind, click the share link. Get the link and share it to your social media platforms and say, yo, this shit's legit. Anyway, what you got for us, John? What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Nothing much. I have a couple weeks. We have my Fitch Smash seminar down at the arena in San Diego. It'll be good. It'll be a good time. Come out and check it out when you get a chance.
Hell yeah.
I think you'll have.
Hey, John, because we were on Modern Life John's webinar last night. I had a few people that were actually hitting me up on the side, and they're like, "Yo, you're friends with John Fitch?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, he's cool." And they're like, "Where's he at?" And I was like, "Oh, he's in the San Jose area, right? San Jose area?"
Yep.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, no shit, I'm in the San Jose area, and I want to get involved with, Fitch Smash locally. Like,
Awesome.
I'd love for John to like throw something together physically." How can people get in contact with you to start having that happen, where you could do like a physical thing?
I have contact. You can contact me through johnfitch.net. I have my email and contact stuff there. So that's an easy way for people to get to me.
What's the email right now if they want to send that? Or is it just like a contact form?
There's a contact form on there, but it's
Okay.
also johnfitch.net@gmail.
Oh, cool. Johnfitch.net spelled out. Like he has it down below.
No, actually
John Fitch.
the email is not spelled out dot. It's just the dot.
It's an actual dot.
The Twitter is spelled out dot because you can't put a dot.
Right.
So it has to spell it out in that one. Yeah.
Muy
But
bien.
the actual email isn't spelled out. It's just the John Fitch period.
There we go.
Yeah. Period. Net. Period net.
At.
Gmail. Yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, you could just go to johnfitch.net, go scroll through the blogs, look at the other stuff on there.
I'm very excited for November 2nd when you come down here.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
I'm gonna go and do it. Why not? And I got a cool little, I got a nice little camera now too. I'm gonna try to record some bits and pieces for you to kind of use and have that set up so you can maybe use it for like
I got a little camera
commercial or
situation.
something.
I've got a little camera and a little gimbal for it too now.
Same here.
Nice.
Mine's not a little camera though. I'm working with some bigger equipment, guys.
Mine's compact because I want to be able to travel with it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So we were talking about all this stuff so far today. I like to give actionable stuff. What do you think? Like, so we're talking about, the feminization of men with all this stuff. We're talking about how men are now acquiescing to women and not really, like, men aren't forcing, I hate to use the term force, but they're not conditioning women into like having kids with them. They're literally selecting themselves out of the gene pool and allowing these women to wear the pants. These women are going to these feminist colleges.
Part of it too is, man, you have to make yourself somebody they want to have kids with. I think there's a I say it all the time, lizard brain, right? There's a trigger back there where you're doing the right things. There's something in that lizard brain of hers that's going to trigger and be like, I want his babies. I think you need to put yourself in a position where women start, their lizard brain starts triggering when they see you. Like there's something about this guy, even though I think children are part of the oppression and the patriarchy, I still want this guy's babies inside me.
Right.
So I think one of the first answers is just lifting yourself up, making yourself more desirable.
Sorry, I was looking something up there. What are we using? Yeah, dude, listen, I 100% agree with that. The big thing that you have to do, is you have to make the decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be the person? Do you want to be the person who furthers society and furthers his genetics and creates this kind of civilization? Or do you want to be on the other side, on this kind of like feminine side of the things where your genetics are going to drop off? You're going to literally run that sector and that segment of humanity off the cliff. And you're kind of you're going to live an unhappy life. The thing with happiness.
Do you want to have the sex that you want to have?
Right. And do you want to live?
Do you want to live? Do you want to have the sex you want to have? Do you want to have the jobs that you want to have? Do you want to have the kids and the life that you want to have? Do you have to decide to make the change to make it happen?
It's that easy. You got to make the choice, but then guess what you have to do? You have to follow it up with action. And this is the hardest part, right? I mean, making the decision's easy. A lot of people out there are sitting here like, oh, I have this dream. This is what I want to accomplish. This is the direction I see my life going and all this stuff. But do you want to take the action? And that's the hard part, because what does the action, I guess, consist of? And believe it or not, it consists of discipline. And I'm actually gonna shoot a video on this here pretty soon, because I've had my fair share of like being very disciplined for a long time and just feeling bored and all this other stuff, and then going to the other side of things where I'm like, all right, now it's time to introduce a lot of chaos because I'm sick and tired of being so structured. And then I go into the chaos zone for too long and I start to lose all. Like, the thing with discipline is you don't have to. Like, you can be disciplined, and discipline does equal freedom, like what Jocko Willink talks about. But you don't have to be so disciplined in life where you just don't have fun, right? And that's the balance that I'm trying to tie in right now is like, if you look at my life, you'll see that I am very disciplined with a few things. I live a sober life. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. And if you look at my diet, you'll see that I don't eat. Like, I don't eat fun foods. My diet is very boring in comparison to what other people do and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, on a daily basis, I eat a lot of the same. I eat the same ground beef and chicken most days.
Yep.
I eat the same broccoli.
I'm turkey and chicken, half cup of fucking rice. My favorite thing that I get to eat though is I get to eat a sandwich with sourdough bread, with turkey breast, nitrate free for the.
But then I get my nights where I get cheat meals.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting so clean most of the time.
I'm getting my cheat meal tonight where I'm able to go out. I'm looking forward to this.
I had my whiskey last night. That was my sugar.
Yep.
Good.
But my life in general, what I do now when I go have fun, like last weekend I went out and I actually partied. I can party sober though. And that's the thing that I've learned, and that's where and how comfortable I become in my own skin, is I can go out to a club or a bar and I can actually have fun. I can be sociable and I can dance and all this other stuff without having to drink or consume alcohol. That way it's not killing my fucking wallet. It's not killing my liver. It's not killing my workouts the next morning. The only downfall is like you end up staying up a little bit late. So I don't do this every weekend, right? Because sleep is absolutely 100%
sleep
important.
So it screws me up with those nights out.
That's what makes you feel more hungover than anything.
Yeah,
too.
if I could have
rhythm.
a few, like I try to have I call it 3-drink rule. I can have 3 whiskeys or 3 whatever, and I'm fine. I'm functioning fine. I'm not out of control, and I'm not hungover the next day. Right, 3 drinks. That's plenty of time to spend all night.
For sure.
From 9 to midnight, you can chill and hang out.
And you're not breaking the bank with 3 drinks.
I've had
loosening up a little bit or whatever, however you want to do business.
I've had nights where I didn't have any. I had maybe 1 drink or 2 drinks, and but I was up till 2 a.m. because I don't know, these younger girls, man, they don't go to bed so early.
Yeah, they want to be out. And that's what I'm saying. So what I'm talking about with this balance is I have my days and weeks scheduled. I'm like, you know what? All right, I am, for instance, so I went out last weekend. Tonight, for me personally, it depends actually. I might go, I'm going to go holler at this one chick right now. And I might even do a little bit of day game today. So we'll see. But I'm writing my second book right now. I'm 50,000 words into it. And that's kind of where my mindset's been, is it's like, I want to get this pumped out.
I feel like you got a work night coming for me tonight.
Yeah. So that's how I work it. And then next week I'm like, oh shit. Well, I worked last weekend. I've been doing a whole lot. I'm starting to see that, because when I'm sitting there and I'm working and I'm grinding, I forget sometimes to like go out and have fun and release some of that pent up
I
stuff.
did that for, man, I lived out here in San Jose for almost 17 years. I spent like 2 years in Vegas, but like I never went out here. I don't, I'm this last 2 years since I split with my wife. I'm just starting to like experience San Jose a little bit because it was always about just training, just being at the gym.
Right.
Like I didn't go out and have fun or whatever. Like my nights out, my party nights um, were out of town, at a fight or an event. We'd leave
Yeah.
and then go
Like
party
after a
there.
fight, you'd go party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we'd go and watch somebody else fight. We'd corner somebody. I'd corner somebody in Japan, or I'd go wherever and they'd go party there. So like that was kind of how I handled things. But now like I've had to reestablish a social life here.
Yeah, you had to learn how to be like naturally social rather than being kind of like pulled into those social events. And that's what I'm saying. You gotta structure
like
your life.
Work events kind of. Now
right.
I have to like, yeah.
For me, that's the thing. I'm my own brand. I'm my own person. I don't have other things that are kind of pulling me in, so I have to schedule these things into my life, and that's part of the discipline. Part of the discipline is understanding like time and place and location. Mm-hmm. Okay, if I've been working hard for 2 weeks, I got to go and I got to do something. I even try to do something like social and take myself out on a date, like tomorrow. I'll probably
take myself to the movies sometime.
Yeah, take yourself to the movies. Tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll probably go smoke a cigar, watch a little bit of football while I'm on my computer, probably like posting some stuff in the WarTribe or whatever and talking to other people. And before that, I might go to like the batting cages, or I might go shoot my bow, or I might, go take my dog for a hike or something like that.
Took my sons down to we go on Thursdays, we go and shoot bows.
Hell yeah. Love it. It's one of my favorite things in the world. It's a cheap, instead of spending so much money on fucking ammo, I still get the feeling. And yeah.
Yep. You get the calm, the breathing. And then I get to spend a day with my sons doing something outdoorsy, weapons training. I let them
throw
trade
tomahawks,
some of their, let them trade in some of their points for a Slurpee at 7-Eleven. So we'll stop at 7-Eleven on the way.
Yeah. They get their one treat. They get their one treat, that little cheat meal. It kind of
that they worked for. They're trading points that they've earned up over the week. So like, it's it's the delayed gratification. They can turn their points in, get the Slurpee, and then we go shoot arrows.
Do you want to? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys out there are parents. Do you want to hear about John's kind of point system? I want to hear about it. I'm interested.
Yeah. So there's a
little breakdown.
There's an app called Privilege Points.
No shit.
Right? And I use this with the boys, and they have little tasks. It's this little purple pea thing, and then you see us right there. But it's got their points, their pictures, mine on top, and they just we have our house rules. Number 1 is survive. Number 2 is always give your best effort. Number 3 is tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Number 4 is keep your word, and number 5 is family first. That's our 5 house rules. And then we have tasks, which is like if they do a good job at archery, they get $3. That means if they're not screaming and running around and acting like lunatics. Depending on how they do in jiu-jitsu class, if they get we have like a color system with a lot of stuff like red, yellow, green. Same thing with the school. They have a red, yellow, green system at school. So like they get points for different things, and they get 2 points for helping dad. Can't really see, but yeah, they just have little points. And then they have penalties, right? So if they're fighting, they lose points. If they get if they get a red at school or red at jiu-jitsu, they lose points. And then they have the privileges. So we just added McDonald's. They get a Happy Meal, 25 points. They can trade that in. The medium icy is 25 points. A movie with an icy is 35 points.
Damn.
They can pick a board game that's 15 points. Small icy is 15 points. And then video games. If they want to play video games, they have screen time. It's 25 points. So like they have to earn it. They have to earn their goof off time.
Yeah, you know what you're teaching them though. I mean, aside from discipline, you're teaching them capitalism.
Delay gratification and capitalism.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're teaching them.
You get a unit of storage, like you're storing a unit of behavior, unit of production in this point form, and then you get to exchange this energy, this unit of production over to me for something you want. I didn't even think about that, but that is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how, I mean, if you structure your life this way, I'm a big fan of
And
earlier.
they keep me on it because they're asking me for their money. Basically, it's like, did you do the points? Where's our points at? Let us see our points. So they're checking
Yeah,
on their points. So it's like they're checking your bank statement.
exactly. And they're learning how to do this. And
Hey, boss, did my points come in yet? Did my check come in yet? Where's my check?
think about this, how this is formulating their brain to start going out into the world after this and gaining their own resources. Like, this is epic. One thing I like too, I really like earlier Stefan Molyneux. If you look at his means of like peaceful parenting, he talks a lot about how one of the biggest things that's missing from parenting in the world today is negotiation. A lot of parents just put forth these rules and expect their kids to understand like adults and rationalize with it. And it's like, well, especially in a world where kids aren't taught to rationalize and just use their emotions, it's why your kids act out so much. A lot of parents don't, before going into the supermarket, don't preface the behavior they're looking for. They just assume my kid should fucking just know. And when they don't, they're like, oh, now I'm going to fucking overreact and go off the top. Instead, being like kind of like what you're doing here. Hey, when we go into the supermarket, this is how you're to act, right? You understand that if you want something, it's going to be points. You're not just going to be given this stuff, and this is what I'm expecting of you, right? Guys, you got to understand, we're trying to get in there and we're trying to get out so we can go and do other things afterwards. So this is what I'm expecting from you. All right, you guys agree? Do you understand? Do you understand why? Like just having that simple conversation of prefacing the behavior that you're looking for while entering into this environment, because each and every environment that you operate in has a different behavior, right? If we're going to the playground, you don't have to preface too much and be like, hey kids, you got to sit next to me at the playground. No, hey, go wild. This is where you go wild, kiddos. You know what I mean? Other than just like throwing sand at fucking other people and throwing rocks at people, don't do that shit. But, yeah, Molyneux's therapy calls are great, but I have some issues with his philosophy, politics. Molyneux, the big thing right now is I think he's scared about getting kicked off of YouTube. And he's trying to really, really reel in the conservative Christian base. So you can see a lot of his stuff starting to sell out that way. Another theory I have about it too is when you're a man that's already kind of raised up in an environment that's femme-dominated, and you're already a little bit like beta as far as genetics are concerned, and your entire household is female-centric, where he has a daughter that he's putting a lot of his resources into, and then a wife that he's obviously trying to maintain, your testosterone levels are going to plummet. Like, he's not doing anything to, like, push his testosterone levels up. So, needless to say, what's that going to lead to? That's going to lead to, like, he doesn't realize that he's, like, genetically beta-tizing himself with that environment, and he's not doing anything to build himself up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you build a following and you can create a bubble around yourself with your following. Create your own echo chamber.
Well, I could tell you this one thing too, and it's one of my biggest running theories right now on why there's a decline in testosterone in the United States, and it's because of, I talk about this. This is why I promote the WarTribe. If you don't know about the WarTribe, it's www.thewartribe.com. Is where I'm trying to help cultivate and create a no-kidding online male space so that we can eventually turn it into physical male spaces. And the reason why we want physical male spaces is because we want more men to be around each other. When more men are around each other, the bar of testosterone gets raised up. So if you have a high testosterone male in your group, and then you have a bunch of medium and low, those people in the medium are going to start to rise up to the level genetically of your testosterone, of the highest level testosterone, which is going to raise that up. And then what's going to happen too is when you have higher testosterone, you're going to start doing physical activities that are going to actually increase testosterone naturally as well. So you're going to raise the bar and the standard. This is why being in the military, I think it was towards the end of my career that I started messing around. Like, actually, no, I think I took HGH when I was in the military, but it didn't really do too much. Just made me feel a little bit better. Yeah, that's exactly it too. The bigger the society, the lower need for math. And the more, the more coddled that we create a society and we let everything else run, the less we really need. We don't need to ward off predators. We don't need to fight for resources, any of that stuff. But when I was in the military, like I said, I was surrounded by some heavy hitters, dudes that were masculine in genetic frame. And they were a little bit higher testosterone. And we were always competing and doing something, whether running PFTs, running PT together, all this other stuff. We were in a natural competitive zone. So the need for you to actually produce testosterone was there. And that's what's missing from our society today, is that everything that boys do is integrated with women. It's another reason why I'm a huge proponent of men never going to the gym with their girlfriend. Like you're not going to produce the testosterone you need to. You're not going to produce the testosterone you need to have a good fucking workout.
Although sometimes it's not a bad idea to do a really hard cardio session with a chick, just so she knows like what the difference is between, because I've done that before. Some girls who think they're like, oh, I'm like fitness, I do like whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll put you through a cardio.
I'm not saying never, but it's the type of guy that goes every week with his girlfriend, or goes every fucking day, or 3 times a week, and then becomes her fucking Instagram posting bitch and all this other shit. Like,
taking
dude,
pictures for her.
No, you're not going to get a fucking good workout with her.
Hypergamy, taking pictures.
I'm not going to say I haven't taken girls to the gym. Like, one girl I was banging recently, I took her to the gym because I knew I was going to get fucking laid afterwards, and I wanted to get my workout in. So I was like, all right, I'll sacrifice it. But was I working out right next to her? No. You know what I told her? I was like, go do your fucking own thing. And of course, she tried to do things like where she'd come closer and she wanted to like show off her butt and all this other stuff to me and stuff. But like, you got to have your frame in going into this. Whereas most guys are like, hey guys, I'm here with my girlfriend. Like, all right, all XYZ. All right, I'll take your photos and all this other shit. And she's kind of leading the workout. Like, don't do that shit. Like, gym time is for you. It's for you to maximize your fucking testosterone. It's for you to maximize your life. It's for you to maintain your frame as well. Don't fall into her frame at the gym, but that's what I see a lot of motherfuckers doing today. It's like, oh, she has a good Instagram following, I need to help her out with that. It's like, you're just fucking cucking yourself. You're gonna allow fucking Tate to come into her fucking DMs, bro, and fucking scoop her up and fly her out to Romania, even though she might have herpes. I don't know if you saw that at all.
I didn't see that one yet.
Michaela Peterson, you haven't seen this shit on Twitter? You got to go look at fucking MLD's Twitter, dude. He called her straight out. She posted up something. Oh shoot, he's rocking and rolling right now on fucking Dude Party. I got to get over there.
Yeah, I actually got to get headed out.
Yeah, no worries. But let me finish what I was just saying. Michaela Peterson posted up a fucking list of the medication she was taking at one point, and Valtrex was on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube, bro. It's fucking terrible. I think we're going to talk about that right now on Dude Party. All right. Well, let's get this fucking
maybe
show.
She does jujitsu. It could be Matt herpes.
Yeah, that's what people were saying, or it could have been shingles. Who knows? But when the questions came up, when the questions came up, hey, why the fuck is it on there? There's no response. I mean, if it was shingles, I'd be like, yo, motherfucker, it was shingles. It was a one-time thing, like no big deal. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, okay, but if you have herpes from 2015, or if you're getting Valtrex in 2015, what the fuck's it mean? You know what I mean? Like, you got herpes. I don't know. Like, what's going on here? Like, explain. Maybe I had one-time shingles incident, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Anyway, guys, fucking awesome chatting with everybody today. Awesome chatting with you today, John. Where you can find me, obviously I'm going over to Dude Party right now, so follow Modern Life Dating on YouTube. We do Dude Party after this show every single Saturday. What else? Oh yeah, the WarTribe.com. Please support this. Share it with friends. Get in there. We are having some amazing discussions talking about how to build your life in the most masculine of frames possible. When it comes to working out, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to what you need to be putting into your brain, what you need to be doing emotional, what you need to be doing along the spiritual side of things. So do join the War Tribe. Go to thewartribe.com right meow. John, what you got?
Just go to johnfish.net, check me out, and I'll have my live stream. I'm rebranding from Shake Break to John Fitch Knows Nothing on Monday. And I'll be recording. I'll be recording the audio, and I think I want to put that up as a podcast form also. So moving up in the world there. I'll have, a MMA podcast with Jason Burmis, mixed martial mindset, I believe. Yeah, we're doing our thing on Wednesday and Saturdays. I got a lot of stuff out there. Got a seminar coming up. I got my patreon.com/John Fitch. Got a lot of technique videos going up every week. Been writing and putting some other stuff in there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Check it out. Yeah, I got to get running.
All right, my dude. Guys, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be going live for my fourth episode of War Story Sunday with Papa C. That's me. Please do join. And if you have some friends and family or whomever that might be interested in hearing some real live war stories from a combat veteran, United States Marine, former sort of special operations dude, it's pretty epic stuff. I really love doing that. Please tune in tomorrow at that time frame. Share with friends as well. Share this channel with friends. Cool. All right. John and I will be seeing you on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard on another episode of Red Pill Smash Bros. Until then, see you later.